Hola mi gente! Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Real Estate Talk Show, Homebuying 101 with Sebastia Cordoba, Mr. Clear to Close. Guys, super excited because I have a very special guest. I have real estate agent Bruna Enrique from Keller Williams, and we're gonna be answering all these different questions that all of you beautiful people have sent in. So you cannot miss it. Like it, comment, share it, subscribe, and let's talk some mortgages. All right, so please, let's make some noise, take out them fireworkers and them horns because we have Bruna Enrique from Keller Williams.
Cheers!
Salud.
So excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming,
Of course,
Bruna.
yeah, it's my pleasure. No, thank you for the invite.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to
Let's go.
give all the information out there for the people that, you know, it's in real estate world and buyers and sellers and everybody else.
Absolutely. So again, thank you for coming. And let's, actually, you know what? Before we get into all these beautiful questions and important questions that we have, let's get to know a little bit about Bruna, right?
Yes.
So tell us just a little bit of how you got into the business and and who's Bruna?
Yes, Bruna is a Brazilian native. I was born in Brazil, been in the country now for almost 25 years. Actually, 2 weeks will be my 25th anniversary in the U.S.
Nice.
And real estate just came along with a little push from my mom. She asked me to take a class with her. And then we took the class and everything else. We took the test a few times. We didn't pass it. I left it alone, and I'm like, oh, whatever. This might not be the good fit for me right now. And then a few years later, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to do this. I want to change my career. I want to change lifestyle. I want to educate people on real estate. Help. There's. I'm obviously I'm from Brazil. There's a big Brazilian community.
Yes.
In Boston overall. So I'm like, I gotta do this. I'm ready for this. Let's do this.
Love it.
Here I am. Yes.
Love it. Amazing. So what you're telling me is, you got into the business and your mother kind of gave you the push to get in.
My mother gave me the push. She asked me to join her because, obviously English wasn't, second language.
Okay.
So she was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to understand everything. So I was kind of like her translator.
Okay.
But then afterwards, I'm like, damn, I'm so glad I did this. Because, now I'm in a position where I'm able to help people and I'm able to teach people out there how this real estate world really works.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. And a big shout out to my big Brazilian community because we're in Marlboro. There's a big Brazilian community out here in Framingham. Saludos, saludos.
Gracias, thank you.
But no, and again, so thank you. I know I wanted to have you on because I know you do love to give information, help our community, and make sure that all the resources are there. Yes. Right. So, and I know you have a lot of these questions and important questions that you get asked all the time. So, without further ado, let's just get right into these questions. All right.
Yes,
So, all right. So, the first question that we have is, what makes you different? Right. So, what makes you different from other real estate agents in the market? Yeah.
Again, the cliche answer would be, I help people find their dream home, but that's not the whole point right here. I want to set expectation, real expectation for them, and actually show them that it is possible to, buy your dream home. And you need a plan. You definitely need a plan, but we have to be realistic. My goal is to set a realistic expectation so they can follow through and again buy that dream home that they always wanted to. And a lot of times they don't have the information out there.
Yes.
So it's not just finding you a home. It's going through the process, explaining the process, being realistic. Because a lot of times if you're selling or if you're buying, the seller always gonna want much higher. For your house, but is it really worth the amount? So you have to be realistic. I think the biggest thing is being realistic and showing them, steps, baby steps, step by step.
Amazing. So that's good because, the most important thing, like what you're saying, is set those right expectations. So at the end of the day, the buyers or the sellers throughout this process have, a realistic idea of the process. So amazing.
Yes,
good.
yes.
All right. So the next question, because I know we have a bunch of questions here, right? So we got to get through these.
I got to make sure I have you on
keep me on check. Yeah, I'm on my toes. So we have, how do you prepare first-time home buyers so deals do not fall apart? Oof, love it.
Again, it's setting up that plan, the realistic plan. It's showing that. I think my biggest thing is showing them, because it's not just, hey, 3% down. let's get pre-approved. You're pre-approved for 3% down, but there's so much more to it. Before I got into real estate, I had no idea. To me, it was like, oh yeah, great, 3% down, I'm ready. No. There's so much more to it.
Yes.
So, there's your 3% down, there's inspection fees, there's so many other things that not everybody is really aware of it, and you have to get them prepared. A lot of times first-time home buyers, every so often, and you might see this often because of your loan approval thing, but a lot of times they want to change jobs or they want to open a new credit card.
Yeah, no.
Again, let's follow the plan.
Yes.
Let's make sure you understand the whole process, because you don't want the deal to fall through.
Yes.
You have that approval letter right there, and you open a credit card and something else happened.
Yes.
So it's really like having the process and having them follow the process.
That's a very good point, because yes, when you have a plan, especially when you sit down and you guys, especially as a real estate agent, you sit down with them, you get an understanding of what they're looking to purchase. We give them what their limits are, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to go in there and really get them in front of a plan, and hopefully they stick with the plan. So from when we start the process to when we finish, they're in a better position, right? It's not like they've gone backwards.
And that makes them more successful in regards to finding the perfect home. It's not like you're not all over the place. You have to follow a plan. Just like your lifestyle, right? You have a, when you go into work, you have a checklist. You have to follow that checklist, so you're not all over the place and things fall through the cracks.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Oh, I turn the page. I see all these notebooks are almost full already with all the notes.
Hey,
Good stuff.
I'm going to be checking them later.
Mike, if we need more pens, we got them ready. Don't worry about it. All right. So the next question we have is, what's the biggest mistake you've seen home buyers make?
Sebastian, I can give you a list of mistakes that I see out there, but I think one of the biggest one is people going out to see houses without being approved.
Thank you.
And there's a difference of your pre-qualification and when you're actually approved for.
Yes, please.
So even I had an open house last week, and I have a condo in Medford. Nice. And everybody that came in that did not have an agent, the first thing I asked them, I said, "Are you pre-approved?" And they're like,
pre-approved? What's that?
We're just looking around. Like, that's great, you're looking around, but how do you know that you're going to be able to afford this condo or house or anything else if you're not if you're not talking to a lender, if you don't have a realtor guiding you to, because a lot of times I know that sometimes they don't want to follow your lead, but they want to go on their own, look at the houses, and it's fine. But have that in mind.
Yes. Okay.
Because I think having the approval again with you're in a business, you have more, you're out there with pre-approval all the time. So I think having that said, that get pre-approved first, because a lot of times, what if you go into a place that you cannot afford?
Well, yes, that's
that happens a lot,
all the time.
And then it's gonna come back to your realtor. Oh, but you never told me this, or things like that. There's always something. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is making sure you have the right lender, you have the right information. Don't go looking at houses. I know it's nice to be out shopping for a house, but make sure you're on the right track for it.
It's a great advice, because the idea is to understand your finances first, right? See where you stand, and then understand what the different loan program options you're going to have, right? So when you come into a property, yes, you can fall in love with the inside and the exterior and the property, but you also have to fall in love with the numbers and understand, well, okay, I'm only going to have to put the minimum down payment of X, or my monthly payment now is going to be this. Right. Where when we do the seminars, a lot of the questions I ask is, who decides what the monthly payment's going to be, right? Is it the lender? Is it you?
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, we tell you what the maximum is you can purchase, but you have to decide what monthly payment you're going to be comfortable with. Right?
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Thank
All right.
you.
Next question. Great question that we have is, so how do you work with loan officers to help buyers win?
Yeah. Honestly, loan officers are your biggest people out there. It's not like, to me, it's not like a vendor. You're not just a vendor to me. You have to have that relationship with that person.
Yes.
You have to connect them right from the beginning, because the loan officer is gonna be the biggest key to make sure you're pre-approved, or to make sure what other loan amounts or loan programs you're able to join, and you're qualified for, you know. And I see that a lot because not everybody's aware of all the other programs, you know, first-time home buyers program, you know, there's classes out there. Before I joined real estate, I had no idea that you can get a conventional loan for like 3%.
Yes.
You know, or, you know, 5% or whatever the case may be. You have to have that connection with the loan officer in the beginning so that they understand the whole process.
That's huge. That's huge because the one thing that you mentioned earlier is the pre-qualification versus the pre-approval, right? So, which is important. So when you work with your local lender, very important that you understand the difference where a pre-qualification, you're verbally telling the loan officer, hey, this is how much I make, this is my credit score, this is my debts, this is how much I have saved. So when you make an offer on a property, if for any reason, anything that you verbally stated isn't in par, in line of what you told us, the deal might fall apart, or maybe you're spending time or money that you know you shouldn't have, right? So versus a pre-approval now is that we're documenting everything. So I need to see your income, your assets, your credit, and it's going to be a little bit of more hard work up front, but it's going to be a lot beneficial for you because it's going to be easier in the long run. Right.
Yeah.
So.
And everybody's so worried about, you know, interest rates, and you might be able to speak more about that.
Yes.
You know, everybody's just out there with interest rates, but there's just so much more in regards to, okay, the rate is dropping, but is it dropping? Are you ready for the rate drop?
Right.
You know, because you have to be ready, right?
You gotta be able to make the offer and then win. And if you make the offer, let's get to the closing table.
Correct.
So that's amazing, especially what I mean. You're the expert in the real estate, but let's say, you know, once we see the rates go down, the demand goes up because more people come in the market, and that could maybe increase the purchase price and make it harder, right? So
definitely.
Good stuff. All right, so this is good. This is good. Now I hear the pages turning and all the notepads. This is good.
Yes, I like that. Thank you, guys. That's great. There will be a quiz at the end.
Yes, let's go. All right, so the next question we have is, what advice would you give renters? What would you give? What advice would you give to renters who are thinking about buying? Oh no, I'm sorry. Who think that buying is impossible?
Yes.
Love the question.
Yes, I have a few renters out there, and they all tell me that no, I cannot buy. Let's just rent because it's convenient, because it's easier. But is it really? Like, do you have a plan? Like, do you know how much you can afford? Do you know what's your credit score like? You know, let's set for renters especially. I think there's need to be a 12-month plan, not a 3-month, not a 6-month. You know, because there's just so much more to it. So you have. And
you might be in a 6-month agreement or a lease agreement or a year agreement. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of them are in 12-month agreement. I have people right here right now that's like, okay, oh my God, I just leased it, but I should have bought it. I'm like, yes, you should have. I like to have a plan with them right from the beginning, because you have to follow that plan. It's almost like a checklist. Let's have a checklist. You know, it's not a multiple choice test that you select A or B. You have to select everything on the checklist.
Love
you know,
it.
And I see a lot of like high rent prices out there. It's
and it's not easy to rent anymore. Sorry to cut you off, but like you have to give what, your first and last deposit, or
and security.
And security. So that can be maybe what, more than 10,000 sometimes, or what?
Oh my God, yeah, over 10,000. I just showed the house last night in Framingham. Actually, I was here. I was in Framingham, and it's over $10,000.
That's
to
crazy.
rent.
That's crazy.
And like you can put that money towards a down payment on a house.
Yes.
You know, so it's.
Which comes down to like what you said, is a matter of working with a professional who's going to be able to put a plan in action for you, set the right expectations, and make everything realistic.
100%.
You know,
100%.
that's huge. That's huge. Awesome. All right. So next question that I have here, because I do not want to run out of the time here, and these questions, I'm loving them. So we have, how do you educate buyers without overwhelming them? Ooh. Tell me, Bruna.
That's the hardest part.
Don't overwhelm me, please. Don't overwhelm me.
I won't overwhelm you, but there's phases to the process. So it's just like if you're learning a new language, right? Does someone just give you a book and you figure it out?
No. That'd be very tough. Yeah.
You have to, chapter 1, you're gonna learn this. Chapter 2, you're gonna learn that. With buyers, it's the same thing. Like, don't give me all the information at once, because they will be overwhelmed. They're gonna want to do the last thing on the list instead of doing the first one. You know, so break it down. You know, show them that it is possible to do it. But again, I keep saying this, but you have to follow a plan.
There's a process.
There's a process to it. If you don't have the process, you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna think that's not gonna owning a house is not for you. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be you just have to follow the process.
Awesome. Awesome. And it's doable.
It's doable.
It's not impossible.
It's so doable. You just have to get a good agent out there like me, that shows you the process, a good lender like you.
Thank you. Yes.
Because there's so many other programs that people are just not aware of it.
Exactly. And it's a matter, like you're saying, work with a professional. That way you have all the resources to, at your disposal. And at the end of the day, you make that decision and decide, how much monthly payment you're going to be comfortable with and how much of a purchase price you want to go up to.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All right. So we got number 7 here. Question 7, guys. We have, what role do you think realtors play in community stability? Oof. That's a powerful one.
You really have to be knowledgeable and understand the buyer or seller's need. Because if you don't, they're going to get frustrated.
Okay.
So as long as you know what they want, you set the reality, the real expectation, it's a life-changing.
Okay.
You really have to listen. So a lot of times, we have a hectic life. You're out and about, you're doing too many things at the same time.
Yes.
But you really have to listen. If you don't listen, it's harder for someone to even trust you.
Right.
It's people. People like to talk about themselves, right?
Yep.
Like, let them really talk about their needs, their situation, and how can we avoid, things falling through the cracks. Like, is there a plan B? I think in real estate, you always have to have a plan B, plan C.
Yes.
You have to have a plan.
Yes.
If you don't have a plan, the whole process just goes out the window.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. I think that's huge because yes, when you have a team, and then also when you have good stability and you have good good resources at your disposal, it's only going to help the community.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So, good stuff.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. So this is sad because I believe this might be the last question, and I'm just, I want more. I want more coming. So
I'll ask you a question.
Yes, please.
So how do you see the market in 2026?
Oh, I love the question.
Because the news, everybody's out and about with the news, rates and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a phenomenal year. What we're seeing already, trends in regards to how many applications come in, how many properties already are being sold. It's a good sign. Also, regards to interest rates and where we're going on that direction, we're seeing very good signs. So
awesome.
President Trump said maybe last week or 2 weeks about Freddie and Fannie maybe investing in some bonds. Fannie or Freddie.
I love that.
So what that means basically, by purchasing a bunch of these bonds, it's going to be able to reduce the interest rate and then create more opportunities for home buyers and make it more affordable, right? So I love that, which that's going to drive more demand, maybe open some more opportunity, but we also need more inventory, right? So that's the tough part is I think there's going to be more activity. The rates are going to go down. It's a great time for you to purchase because if you can get in early, like we spoke earlier, you can always refinance the interest rate in the future, right? But you'll never be able to renegotiate the purchase price, right, that you bought the home for. So try to buy it as low as possible so when you refinance,
right now is the time.
Yes.
Right now is the time.
Yep. But I feel it's good. What about you? I mean, do you see more houses in the market? Is that something you're kind of seeing? Is that
Honestly, I see a few houses in the market that does not have the right price.
Ooh, overpriced then. Okay.
Overpriced. Just for example, in my neighborhood in Malden, I live in Malden.
Okay, nice.
I see a lot of houses for sale that it closes within 25 days, over asking price.
Wow.
To me, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you don't have the right price out there and the right people to buy it, right? If you're not prepared for it, then you're just out of the question.
No, I think you're right because, the property you're saying is the property may sit on the market for longer if you overprice it versus underpricing it and hopefully overbidding.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. So work with your professional.
Work with your professional and get the plan going.
Yes, let's go. Get the plan going. I love it. All right, so I appreciate you answering all these questions, and you answered them with such professionalism and with good information and valuable information. So thank you. But before we let these beautiful people go home or start, investing into their own real estate, leave us, if you can, with one last piece of advice, a tip. But more importantly, Bruna, what's the best way that everybody can reach out to you, please?
Yes, definitely. So the best way to reach out to me, my Instagram is brunaenrique.realtor. It's Bruna, and Bruna with 2 N's. My mom, I gotta be special, right? And you can also reach out to me via email, bruna.enrique@kw.com. But my biggest advice for people out there is getting ready and having a realtor like me that can guide you to the whole process. You know, it's a long process, but as long as you're on the right track, you do what the realtor is doing, you'll be good. There's no going back and being frustrated or anything like that. So buying a house is fun. It should not be scary, and it's not scary if you have the right professional with you.
Amazing. Yes,
Thank
let's
you.
go.
Yay.
Let's go. Big round of applause, everybody. So,
Thank you.
no, again, thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
no, and I hope to have you here soon again.
Yes.
Did we scare you? No?
No, you
coming
didn't
back?
scare me at all.
All right.
I was thinking to like, oh my God, am I doing this right? Am I saying this correctly? But no, I think
You did great.
Thank
again,
you.
thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
And again, everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next week. And please like it, comment, share it, subscribe it, and let's talk some more.